This seemingly unending quest to find and take down a rare battle-worn T-Rex is continuing today out here on the Hunter Primal. With all the hours I was able to put in over the past week, the only rare that I managed was actually the other one that we hadn't yet gotten, the rare Quets, and it just so happened in that scenario there were 3 different ones actually swooping down trying to attack. I had no idea it was actually a rare, so I didn't press record, but I was able to get a couple of screenshots, and we can see the striped wings mentioned in the Steam achievement, so that leaves the battle-worn T-Rex as the only rare dinosaur in the Hunter Primal that we haven't gotten, and we're gonna just continue hunting for it today like we've been lately. And my goal is to take out at least 6 T-Rex, and hopefully along the way we're going to do a couple of resets around the swamp area. According to the wiki, that's the area they can spawn, and at this point, over 50 T-Rex kills in, over 60 hours into the game, I'm not willing to kind of throw out any information that might be useful, so that's going to be our approach for the day. And the good news is, at least for now, the binoculars seem to be actually working and not doing the weird glitch thing. That's kind of a decent-sized female T-Rex. And I think we'll try and go and get that one with the bow. Now, I do want to test a couple of things today. For one, I grabbed the 5.56 assault rifle, and I'd like to see how that does on the Quetzes and the Utah Raptors, because it might be a better option than the shotgun. And the other thing I want to do, not in this particular scenario, but maybe when we get some decent cover, is to try taking out a T-Rex with basically 2 hard shots from the 700, because we know the bow can do it. If the 700 can, it's probably a more consistent way to take them out, and we're at a point where I think we have 140 rounds. Like, we're good, so that might be what we do if it works, but I really don't want to find out that it doesn't work out here where we don't have anything to save us. Now, obviously, if I was super confident taking out T-Rex with the bow every time, we wouldn't be testing the 700 to begin with, so this is far from a guarantee, but if we can get 2 hard shots in here, we should be able to take her out. I really want her to stop, because I think I might know where the broadside heart hitbox is. No clue really if we got it. There isn't a way to find out until we make another shot. Now we got to get out of her way. No rocks to save us this time. And we got it. So, I think I'm right. I think the heart hitbox, when they're broadside, is basically right through, I don't know if that's a shoulder. I guess it is. Kind of weird with T-Rex arms, but yeah. It was a little bit quartering, so I shot in front of it, but it's right here. It's showing behind it, but I think it's more in that area on the actual model. That's something we are going to experiment with, but lots of stuff at least to test as we're still somewhat new to the game as we run around trying to find this rare, because it would be nice. Again, what is the worst kind of like time waste is when T-Rex manage to kill us, so the more consistent we get at taking them out, the more efficient we can be hunting around trying to find the rare one. And it looks to me like we're going to get a chance to test the 5.56 on a Quetz. Not too bad. There is another T-Rex out there, actually kind of closer than I'd like, so maybe we're going to crouch down. It is a male, and they almost always score lower than the females, and I just figure if we are going to take out a couple per hunt, we might as well go for the bigger ones. But we ultimately just had 2 hits. Second one was a heart shot, so maybe not the best kind of test case, because we're probably not going to manage that every time, but there it worked, and I just heard a Utah Raptor, so we might be testing both pretty quickly here. But I see this as an opportunity to really test out the 700 hard shots that I mentioned earlier. Now the binoculars are acting up, so I've not spotted this one. It looks to be a female. Yeah, it's got the orange eyes, so it definitely is. But as long as we can somewhat stay away from her, and then get down into one of these areas that's going to keep us hidden, we can basically find out if the 700 is going to work with hard shots without risk of dying. She is charging, but we're in here. So, for one, loading that's probably a good idea. But we're just going to wait for really good like frontal shot opportunities. Eventually they'll present themselves. Not even going to try anything broadside. I just want to know if it's doable. And from there we can kind of figure things out. But we'll sort of just kind of play around and wait till a shot presents itself. By the way, it is absolutely possible to die inside here. It's just not super likely. That's a decent opportunity. Hard to say if that got hard. Since we're sort of being somewhat not that careful, that was a body hit, but it did a ton of damage. I'm really confused about that. This sort of seems a bit lame the way this is playing out, but it's more for testing purposes than anything. Okay, pretty odd way to stop, but gave us the chance to take the shot we wanted, and then of course it started moving. So we've now hit it twice. I do think that was a lung hit, but really this has not been the test I wanted it to be. I don't recall for sure, but I think the best we've done is like 4 hits on a T-Rex with the 700. I don't know why she's staying, but her head is kind of blocking her heart anyway. I'm kind of thinking we better stick with the bow. I think she may be stuck, just for fun here. Yeah, that killed her real quick. So, what actually was the deal here? We got 2 heart shots, so one of our 700 rounds hit the heart, but I definitely don't feel as if that's at all more consistent than the bow. And I mean, we had plenty of opportunities there with the 700 where we were lined up good enough, and clearly we weren't doing enough damage there getting into the heart. And then one attempt with the bow, we hit the heart and we're good. So I guess that's what we're sticking with, and that doesn't give me a ton of confidence that we're just going to be staying alive going forward. That's a decent female track. I was going to basically do a little reset here and run around the swamp again, but we might track that down just in case. The rare ones are always basically the heaviest. They max at around 6,800 kg, but that doesn't mean the track is going to be correct, so we better check on this one. And unfortunately, the estimate was pretty much correct, and that is a common one, so I think kind of as a decision to try to make sure that we're not just going to end up dying to it and wasting time, we're going to let that one go. And I guess to fully explain my idea here, basically if we can kill 2 T-Rex per run, that kind of guarantees that we spend a good bit of time in the area that I want to be in. And something else I guess worth actually explaining, because I forgot to mention it earlier, the Utah Raptor that I had talked about, because there was a male T-Rex in the area, it actually spooked that off, so we still actually have to test that with the 5.56, but because that is just a common Rex, I think we'll do another run through here. So right away, we actually have a bigger female Rex there. This one's up to almost 6,600 kg, but again with the binoculars, I just don't want all like the flashing shapes on screen because they're not fun to look at, so we're gonna have to kind of just go with that. Again, I don't see any kind of rock that we can use to our advantage. Maybe this one? We're gonna have to find out real quick, and I don't think it's big enough to trust, so we're gonna have to just make good shots here basically. Otherwise, we're essentially out of luck. Try this. I don't love the broadside, but I feel like we probably have the time to at least risk it. Alright, good. I wasn't sure about the first one. I was pretty confident the second one was heart, but she should be somewhere in the area of like 6,400 kg on the harvest screen. Yeah, 6,441. I think the max estimate on the other was 6,440, so this one would definitely be bigger, but not a bad start to this one, and it spawned us way south of where I want to be. We have a long way to go, but at least already starting out with a T-Rex kill. Now it is a male, which means it's a smaller one, but we have a Utah Raptor out here, and we're kind of away from any T-Rexes at the moment. There were a couple of males between the last one we shot and the swamp here. There's another Raptor out there, but if we can get this one to notice us, which I think that sound means it has, despite the thunderstorm, it should come over here, and hopefully we can get an idea of what the 5.56 does on them. I kind of imagine it's designed for animals like them because they're super quick, and the extra ammo would be quite useful there. Although, that was not the most impressive. Total of 8 hits. I think you get more like firing sounds than there's actually ammo fired, but still, that was not ideal. That is, I think, another male Rex if I remember correctly. We'll check and make sure. Definitely saw green eyes, so that's the case. I don't know if that other raptor is going to come over here then, because it's probably going to be spooked off. I can hear it still, but yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. I know it wasn't the best shot placement, but even still, I kind of hoped less than 8 shots would kill it regardless. To this point, this hunt has actually had even more T-Rex hunting than I had actually planned on. We hit the 2-hour mark some time ago, and I decided to basically take a break, and I came back to the game without recording, running around, and basically just saw a bunch more common T-Rex, and that is the case once again with this one. We're so close, though, to, I don't even know what to call it, but the area back here, I think it's Bushwhack Meadows, but the little area that has actual protection, that I think it might be smarter to somewhat bait the T-Rex back there and then kind of hide in that. So if we just slowly crouch backwards, we'll keep getting closer and closer. She definitely knows we're here, and eventually she's going to run over to us. At that point, that was loud. At that point, we are essentially going to sprint back. She still isn't running at us, so we're just essentially saving stamina and gaining more distance we can run. Now she knows where we're at, so we'll back up a little more to gain as much distance as we can. Now we kind of sprint for it, and I'm pretty certain we can actually make it into here, and it's essentially a free T-Rex kill at that point. We have a little further to go than I thought, so we're going to save a little extra stamina. I didn't even know if she was charging for certain, but we're going to make it. And we actually got so far away from her that she had to kind of do the running in thing again. Sort of got lost there, but mine is taking a little damage. We'll get back into here and actually have proper cover. So it's far from a guarantee that you're actually safe in these. I think, with her standing there, we should have been able to get her, but this is what can happen. They can get into here, in which case you're definitely not safe. I'm just going to make the move over to this side. I've never seen one get so confused by these barriers. It's like she doesn't know where to go. I think she might have finally locked onto us. Yeah. A bunch of times she would just come over there and then not actually attack us. And then once we hide, usually for just a second, they kind of get lost. There we go. Alright, so the other T-Rex that's been making noise, I wouldn't be surprised if it's moving in this direction because of all the racket that we just caused running around trying to get that one to chase us. It sounded like it was somewhere in this general direction, so we'll kind of move off that way and see, for one, if it's the rare one that we're after, but in general, if it is a female and worth trying to take out. But yeah, that didn't quite go to plan, but at the very least we were pretty much safe doing it. That is going to be our other Rex, and that is a male. So we're just going to let that one go and explore the swamp area. But like I mentioned, I had taken a break from the game, and it was actually good to get a kind of easier kill on a Rex, because even whatever I said we are, 55, 56 Rex kills in 60 plus hours, it's far from guaranteed, and it's definitely nice to kind of warm up, taking a couple of hard shots. So kind of picking a fight with one a little more out in the open. I actually had kind of decent hopes that this would be the rare one, because it had a really high weight estimate, but it's just sort of lower down in that estimate range. Gonna need another shot quickly. That should be it. Yeah, cool. I don't like that there's like a little bit of delay between the second hard shot and them dying, so they almost gotta do like 49% damage or something like that. And there's always like that added bit of stress, because after the second shot, a lot of times they do actually charge. But yeah, this one weighs 6,335 kg. The track had gone up to 6,600, and I know the estimate of the battle-worn one that I've seen like in screenshots was up to 6,800, so probably 65 something on the low end. And I would assume, just because the rare dinosaurs are always the biggest ones, any that goes up to 6,500 or higher is one to actually go and take a look at just in case. But unfortunately, just another common in this one. Well, we might have messed up here. I did not realize how close we were to that one. I don't know if we'll be able to get that or not. I think we have to just shoot really well. Oh boy. Okay, if we... never mind. I was going to say if we can run away. But as soon as that second shot didn't land in the heart, I kind of thought we were done for. But that is our 6 T-Rex. Now, I don't have a clue if that was a big one or not. It just kind of was there. It actually was. 2,200, I think, is our best. 6,500 kg. I mean, we've had some good-sized females today, just none quite into that range of, I guess, whatever they gotta be, 6,600 plus, maybe even bigger, to actually get to be the rare one. And maybe there's something to that, because I've noticed a lot more alpha trikes, and the more of any particular dinosaur that we've shot, it seems like more rares show up. So I don't know if there's anything like correlating with that, but maybe there is, and maybe the more T-Rex we get, the more likely it'll be that we actually find a rare one. But I think that is actually going to do it for today's video. We actually, I think, in the end, ended up with more arrows than we started with, because as we've run around and gone to the different places in the process of looking for T-Rex, we managed to actually loot quite a number of them, so that's definitely encouraging. And if there is any kind of correlation between number of T-Rex killed and the likelihood of a rare spawning, maybe we actually got somewhere killing 6 more today, but hopefully in the next week we can find that one. I'm still going to try. Hopefully we can get it, and hopefully we can get on to that Primal Queen Rex soon. But that is going to do it, like I said, for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.